After the release of Super Mario Bros., the market for home video games in North America was a wildfire. Every kid wanted an NES and Mario. With this explosion of a brought back to life market, competitors joined the home video game market to get some of that video game cake. $61.9 million units sold? Hot diggity, do I need a console in the market? Go, Sega Master System! You did alright, but maybe next time I'll get it. Yes! Yes! Sega joined too? Well, I gotta join in too. Go, 7800! Ugh. You didn't do that well. Ugh. But maybe the next successor to the Atari console lineup would be the best one of them all. So you look at Sega, their Genesis is doing pretty well. Maybe I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. I'll call it Jaguar. It'll be the best thing ever. It'll be 64-bit and everything. All the kids are gonna like it. Well, the Jaguar didn't do that well. But let's see what Sega's doing. A CD attachment? That's the way I'm gonna win this. That's how I'm gonna win this whole console war. Screw Sega and Nintendo. I'm gonna win this. Jaguar CD, baby! So now that Nintendo has a new successful franchise, their first action is to make a sequel. Welcome to the first episode of History with Sam. Our first episode is Super Mario Bros. 2. Alright nerds, that Mario game is doing amazing. We need a sequel now. How about we don't change anything about the original other than it's more bullshit hard and we add a poison mushroom to fuck over new players? Great idea! Start working it now. We need it out as soon as possible. Okie dokie. Now that we released Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan, let's sell it in the USA. What the hell is this? What? The game is too hard for me and probably all of America. Make a new Mario 2 that is significantly easier. Well, shoot. Sir, we made this Doki Doki Panic game that's like Mario a year ago. We could use this as a replacement. Yeah, sure, just make sure you put Mario characters and items so the Americans wouldn't know it wasn't a true Mario game. Now this concludes an episode of History of Sam. Now back to your scheduled program. So after the failure of Super Mario Bros. 2, Nintendo needed a new Super Mario Bros. 2. And even though it is the third Mario game, it is not the third Mario game. It is the second Mario game. You got it? So after 3 years, damn, 3 years, Super Mario Bros. 2 was finally released in America in 1988, with the game getting a lot of attention thanks to the first issue of Nintendo Power that gave subscribers tips and tricks about the game before it released. But before we get into the game, I want to check out what Nintendo Power showed us of Super Mario Bros. 2. Where it looks like the Pepe screaming meme, all he's missing is the tongue that's sticking out. Wait, why is Toad smaller than the rest, but he's the tallest in the game? I'm not even playing this game yet, and I'm already finding problems with it. The game tells us in the instruction manual that Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Princess Toadstool find a long staircase that leads them to a mysterious land named Subcon. I wonder if there are real tickets for a real-life Subcon. Story, right. Then a voice tells the group to save them from war, which is keeping them captive, so since you're the good guys, you go through a Subcon by smashing enemies, getting power-ups, and defeating war. Hold on a minute, those enemies didn't die, and I jumped on them. Well, I think I'm done. Wait, I have to do a review. God damn it. So you get to play as all four. Wait, four? Yes, you get to play as Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Princess Toadstool throughout the whole game. At the beginning of each level, you get to choose which character to play, and each one has their own strengths and weaknesses. There's the good old Fat Mario, which is the all-rounder in jumping, running, and strength. I'll explain the strength thingy later in the video, so don't you worry about that. There's also Tall Green Mario, also known as Luigi, where his jumping excels in the vertical range, but his strength and running aren't as good, and in my opinion, he is the worst. Look, I only used him in one level, that's how much I don't like him. There's Toad, which is the fastest and the most powerful, but has the worst jump in the game. And finally, Princess Toadstool, which is the weakest in strength and running, but can hover after jumping, which makes horizontal parts levels, especially in the desert levels, a complete breeze. Before I continue, I gotta explain the strength stat I mentioned earlier. The strength stat is how fast you can pull things over your head. So you don't defeat enemies by stomping on them. You pick vegetables or even enemies over your head and throw them against other enemies to defeat them. Okay, so I have two questions about this. How is Toad running faster with an enemy over his head? And how the hell are vegetables a good choice for self-defense? Hello, it is me, your friendly neighborhood mugger, to mug you once again. Oh crap! It's the neighborhood mugger! Oh crap, I don't have anything. But I do have this piece of broccoli. Assault broccoli! He hit me with assault broccoli! Sir, you're under arrest for using assault broccoli. Oh no, I can't go to jail again for assault broccoli! Ah! Hey, get back here! Oh god, the police are after me! I have vegetables! Well, he has vegetables, and I don't. I can't catch up to him, fuck. There's also a new mechanic to the jumping. If you hold down on the D-pad long enough, they will start to flash, and if you press the jump button, they do a super jump.
Super kicker! What's happening? Around!
This is mostly used for ledges that some characters cannot reach, like Toad or Princess Toadstool. With this new jumping mechanic, it changes level design completely. The original game went from left to right with the occasional secret area and a pipe or up a vine, but in Super Mario Bros. 2, it has some verticality. No more of the days of just horizontal levels. Now you can go left, right, and even up sometimes. The game is so proud about it, you start the game by falling down. It also has more rooms to explore, which some of them are shortcuts to the end of the level, but most of the time I ignore these rooms unless I have to go through them to get to the end of the level. Nearly all of them have some reward to earn by exploring the room, but it's just not worth my books to go through the whole thing and risk hurting myself or even dying. Like, what the hell is this? I have to search every single pipe to find one little thing so I can continue the game. So Nintendo heard my complaints about the jumping being too stiff in the original game, so they changed it to being floaty. It could be me changing characters each level and not getting used to one character's jump, but it feels so hard to jump on top of enemies and throw them, so. Throughout the levels, you will see cherries in the air. No, these aren't coins and they'll give you a 1-up. These give you the Starman if you collect 5 of them, because that's how you get any power-up in a game now, is by collecting floating cherries. If you think it's the last power-up you'll see in Super Mario Bros. 2, well, you're wrong. But Super Mario Bros. 2 actually has a lot more power-ups and items than the original can ever dream of. Example number 2, the Super Mushroom. But shittier. It gives you an extra hit point like the original, but you can't carry that extra hit point over the levels, unlike the original. The only way to find these mushrooms is by finding a red potion in the ground, throwing it, which spawns a red door that you go through in this dark dimension that you can find the mushroom in, and also coins in the ground, which you can gamble away at the end of each level to get extra lives. If you don't like gambling, you can find 1-up mushrooms in the ground, like the potions I said before. One more thing about the potion before I go to the next power-up. If you spawn a door right next to one of these pipe doohickey things, it becomes a warp zone like the original game. You can also find a Koopa shell from the ground that you may throw to get some sick combos. There was also the POW block from the original Mario Bros. Arcade. Once you throw it and it hits the ground, all hell breaks loose and kills everything on the screen. There's also the heart, which you can find out if you kill a certain amount of enemies, and it will restore 1 hit point. I have one issue with the power-ups in this game. Why do you find most of them underground? Like, are they planets? Can I get seeds with them? I found a bomb that tried to kill me one time when I pulled him out. And nearly every level you will find locked doors that you need to go through to get to the end of the level. So how do I get the key? You gotta pick it up from these creepy masks, and one of them will chase after you until you die, unless you go through a door. Cool! A free key! Yoink! Oh god, the mask's after me! The mask is after me! What do I do? Shit. If you already think this game is a bit of a departure from the original game, it gets weirder with the enemies. You got birds on magic carpets, long snake things, a porcupine, and a whale. Wait, those aren't weird. And the weirdest enemy, Birdo. A dinosaur-looking thing that has a huge hole in the mouth that you could probably stuff all the items you can find in this game in it. It also barfs out eggs that you can pick up and throw and actually defeat Birdo with. You also can find Birdo in 3 different flavors: bubblegum that just spits out eggs, tomato that occasionally spits fireballs, and lime that only does fireballs, so you have to use other items in the room to kill it. Every Birdo drops an orb once you defeat it, and you pick up those orbs to go through a bird's mouth to get to the next level, and later in the game, the bird attacks you, so you gotta defeat that too. But don't worry, Birdo's not the only boss in this game. We got unique bosses. We got a mouse that has endless amounts of bombs. It reminds me of the Hammer Brothers. Ugh. A grease fire that became alive, a hydra that was actually underwhelming, it died like in 3 hits, and a crab that flings rocks at you. At least it's better than fighting Bowser 8 times. Well, you do fight the mouse 2 tries, but let's ignore that. One of the best things about this game, other than assault vegetables, are the graphics. The previous game looked alright. Everything like had a one-tone design, I guess, where everything looked orange or everything had blue or something like that, you know? But this game has multiple contrasting colors. You got blues, you got greens, you got other colors I can't list in the same level. Holy shit. Even though the graphics are way better than the original, I can't say the same thing with the music. I'm not saying the songs are bad, they're actually pretty good. Like the overworld theme, the cave, the boss fight songs. Problem is, those are the only songs you hear throughout the whole game. Yeah, you do hear the Dark World theme and the Starman theme, but they only last 5 seconds, so... And the only different song you'd hear is when you're fighting Wart. Oh, I should talk about him. After making your way up the clouds and breaking into his factory, castle, sky penthouse apartment, I don't know. You go through the gauntlet and fight the last Birdo. Right when you go through the door, you finally fight him with, guess what? Assault vegetables. You shove as many vegetables down his throat until he chokes to death. Fuck me, that's a gruesome death for a Mario game. Well, Bowser did get his ass nuked or burned alive, so... After you gruesomely kill him, you save the fairies of Subcon and you find out this whole game was actually a dream by Mario. Wait, this whole game was a dream? Mario's dreams are really weird. In conclusion, Super Mario Bros. 2 is a fun and really wacky, weird game. Even though the controls are a bit slippery in my opinion, the music gets repetitive, and most of the new stuff did not get used in later games. But hey, at least Bob-ombs, Birdo, and Shy Guy became a part of the Mario series. I still think this game is an important part of Mario's history and a damn good platformer for the NES. After Super Mario Bros. 2 was released, it also got a Japan release named Super Mario Bros. USA. The game still sold a good amount, around 7 million, but nothing compared to the original game with its 40 million units sold. But it was still good enough for Nintendo to make another Mario game before the life of the NES ends.